USA, the greatest entertainers in America, as requested by you, the fighting men of the United States Armed Forces throughout the world. Command Performance, presented this week and every week, till it's over there. Okay there, gang, we're rolling out that magic carpet of radio and whisking all of you back home for a half hour in the USA. That international welcome mat is out front of your house of Command Performance. And every room inside is filled with the stars you asked for in those letters to Command Performance, Special Service, Los Angeles, USA. And speaking of rooms, step into the music room and meet the lady of the house, the gal who's the first lady in the hearts of thousands of you, your mistress of ceremonies, Dinah Shore Enough Shore.
Here I go again. I hear those trumpets blow again. I'm all aglow again, taking a chance on love. Here I slide again, about to take that ride again. Oh, starry-eyed again, taking a chance on love. I thought the cards were a framer, I never would try. But now I'm taking the game up, and the ace of hearts is high. Things are mending now, I see a rainbow blending now. We'll have our happy ending now, taking a chance on love. Good evening, Ken Carpenter, and hiya, fellas. Well, I can't spend much time dishing the chatter this trip, because your show's carrying a bigger load than Cousin Louie on Saturday night. But you can't stop a girl from sending love to G.I. Welch, Noble Brown, and the Pineapple Army in the islands. Somewhere on the high seas, a Navy mob wants to hear the pop of a champagne cork. Gee, I'm sorry, fellas, we're bone dry, not a bottle in the house. Whoops! Correction. One bottle. A quick hello to Tommy in the Blue 4 with the RAF in Southern Rhodesia. And Dick Tighe at 953, that was one of the nicest letters I've ever read. Hello to 957, Billy, Mickey, Jimmy, Marty, Smiley, Ernie, Tony, Louie, and Hermie. Of all the ickies, illies, and ooies. But we gotta can the dialogue and get rolling. And man, I mean rolling. To start us on our way, there's that sterling quartet, the Sportsmen, singing their arrangement of a brand new number, In My Arms.
In my arms, ain't I never gonna get a girl in my arms? In my arms, ain't I never gonna get a bundle of charms? Comes the dawn, I'll be gone. I just gotta have a honey holding me tight. You can keep your knitting and your purling. If I'm gonna go to Berlin, give me a girl in my arms tonight. His cousin had sent him a sweater, and his sister wrote a letter. But he wanted something much better, this boy who was sailing away. For his buddies were there with their sweethearts, all around him with their sweethearts. Now he never had any sweetheart, and over he'd say, In my arms, ain't I never gonna get a girl in my arms? As for some nice cute female, I'll never find her in the female. Give me a girl in my arms tonight.
Well, thank you, Sportsman. That was swell. More from you fellas lately. There's a character around Hollywood who makes the weekly habit of dropping in and surprising Fibber McGee and Molly, who does everything on the show from the flabbergasted old-timer to the henpecked Mr. Wimple. You've asked for him, and here he is, that versatile young comedian, Bill Thompson.
That's pretty good, Dinah, but that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller says, the other feller says, can you take that last corner on two wheels? Nope, says the other feller. But ain't that kind of dangerous? Shucks, no, says the first feller. I always ride my bicycle that way. Well, fellas, that's the old-timer that I do with Fibber and Molly. And, of course, you've heard of the man who's got that hen-pecked wife. The best way that I can describe her is, she's a big overbearing wife, I should say. She's a cross between an aircraft carrier and a destroyer. But she still pushes him around, but he still lovingly refers to her as
Sweetie Face. My wife, Sweetie Face, is a very wonderful woman if you ever get to know her. Well, she is. I've been married to her now for 20 years. Well, I haven't got to know the old piece of luggage yet. I shouldn't stand up here and make any remarks about Sweetie Face, though, because in our first 20 years, in our first years of marital bliss, this morning we had a terrible argument. We really did. We had words. Well, that is, Sweetie Face had words. I didn't get a chance to use mine. But we were sitting at the breakfast table, and she said something that made me see red. And something inside me just snapped, and she was reaching over to get the coffee pot. And I made a face at her. Yes, I did. I made a great big face at her, and she saw my face in the coffee pot, and the next thing I saw was the coffee pot in my face.
That takes care of poor Wallace Wimple. Recently, I've been delving into newscasting on my own as Bill Thompson. And my travels have taken me to the little-known land of Flageria. Flageria is a small neutral country between three other small neutral countries, Moldavia, Boslavia, and Pangravia. And the Flagerians have a language of their own, a culture all their own. In fact, if I was going to talk to you tonight in Flagerian, I'm one of the few Americans that can speak it, I would say, in greeting to you all, Maz brodna foboštani hev, dona purina bevzdesdadne, ha ha ho. That last is not at all a word. It's just the punctuation. The Flagerians never leave it out. And their musical culture is very interesting. For instance, the Flagerian instruments. I know one in particular. There's the drool bub, or Flagerian bagpipe. And then there are three instruments they play in unison. One is called the banga-clang. It's 75 feet long. It's a metal tube enclosed at both ends with a cannonball inside. It's played by a man, preferably 8 to 9 feet tall, if you can get one. He stands on top of a large stepladder, and he grabs the banga-clang, and he shakes it up and down, and that's how it gets its name. It goes banga-clang, banga-clang. The second instrument they play with that is known as the broom, and it looks for all the world like a picket fence, because that's what it is, a picket fence. And the broom is played by a small boy who runs up and down it with a stick, and that makes the noise it produces, and they call it the broom because that's the sound it makes. And the third instrument they play with this is known as, well, it's not an instrument at all. It's the national animal, or beaver. And a small fat beaver is found and placed on a board in front of the musician, beaver board, you see. And the musician in the blank parts of the music gives the beaver a pat on the back, and the sound produced is So you take these three sounds, and they play them together, and it goes banga, clang, baroom, banga, clang, baroom, That's the conga, of course. You see that?